We're out for another night, and we have a scops owl. These are a small species of owl here in Hong Kong. Pretty common. So just listen for a second, we might hear them call. There you go. Alright, well, hopefully the snakes come out as well, but always nice to find an owl. Alright folks, we've just come across a pretty interesting scene that I have to try and figure out here. This is a juvenile leopard cat. This is a wild species of feline native to Hong Kong. These are not domesticated cats that have been released. This is a native species, and this one is in a tiny little culvert here. And it looks like it may have fallen in and injured one of its feet. It doesn't seem serious, but there's no mother around anywhere as far as we can tell. So I'm going to call some people I know at some responsible bodies here in Hong Kong to get some advice on how they'd best like to handle this situation, whether somebody comes here and takes it and makes sure it heals up properly and is re-released, or if they prefer that it be put out of the culvert and let go into the forest on its own. But these are incredibly elusive animals. They are very difficult to photograph because you'll normally just get a fleeting glimpse of them at night. So to be able to get a view on this one, despite the circumstances being a bit trying, is actually pretty amazing. So I don't want to take too much time with the video because it's obviously quite scared. And me being a big person with a camera and things like that is going to stress it out a bit. So we're going to cut off in just a second here so that I can then figure out what the best approach for dealing with the situation is. And I'll make sure that I circle up on the vlog here and let everybody know what we did. So real special treat for everybody. Again, despite the fact that this is a little bit taxing, the animal seems to be okay, except for maybe a little bit of an injured foot. Which again, it can run around and walk around okay, it's just, it looks like a little limp, so I think everything's going to be just fine here. But we definitely need to handle the situation appropriately, so we will do that, and we will circle up and let everybody know what happened. Okay, we've got our next critter of the night, and this one is a snake. Just a quick circle up on what happened with the baby leopard cat. I actually got in touch with some people at some of the conservation bodies here. Did some video of it walking. They determined that it was healthy and that it wasn't really limping. So best thing to do was make sure it got out of the little nullah and up into the woods. And likelihood is that the parents would be able to find it. It looked like it had quite a lot of energy as well, so I imagine it had just fallen in tonight, and we got here just after dark, so I imagine it wouldn't have been too long. But put it right out, not too far from where it was found, inside, so on the foresty side and upslope, so safe from passers-by and things like that. And I think we've probably done the right thing and given it the best chance to find its parents and get some food and do quite well for itself. So feeling pretty good about that. Really exciting to be able to see an animal like that. They're really quite elusive in the wild. Very unusual to be able to photograph them, let alone get that close to them. So certainly for the observational side of things, it was quite exciting. And the fact that it was healthy and actually got back into the woods is also great. It'd be awesome if the parents were right there and just walked away with it, but obviously I think they're probably hiding themselves. So anyways, I think that's probably a pretty good result. And now we've come across this little bamboo pit viper. This is a juvenile for sure. And it's just set up here right next to this little wall, hoping for a gecko to run by. And it's just off the side of the path here, so it should be fine. Yeah, cool find. We're going to keep going. I think feels pretty snaky out, so hopefully we get one or two more before the end of the walk. And as and when we do, we'll check back in. All right, next snake of the night, we have a common blind snake. So we've had a bunch of these on the vlog lately. I would say this one is very potentially a gravid female. It's actually quite long and quite thick, so decent chance of that, I think. But we're gonna go ahead and leave this one be and get back to our hike, and we will check back in if we come up with something else. All right, we've got our next observation, and not a snake, but a pair of mating brown tree frogs. You can see there the male on top, female on bottom, and they're producing the foamy egg casing, which will actually harden up like styrofoam after they've finished. And then when the conditions are right, or we get a heavy rain, the tadpoles will drop out of the sac and into this little silt pool here. So it's actually a very cool observation. I've seen this before, but this is the first time I've captured it, so very, very interesting to observe. Okay, we've got our next snake of the night, and it happens to be a common wolf snake. It's just moving along through this leaf litter, behaving very much like a common wolf snake. These are terrestrial snakes, so they like to be on the ground, but they're also very, very good at climbing walls and slopes and things like that. So actually a pretty successful snake here in Hong Kong. Definitely one of the more common snakes to encounter when people are out and about. They do very well in developed areas as much as they do in jungle habitat and things like that. So yeah, very successful species here, and pretty small as well. Generally not getting more than 30 or 40 cm, often found a lot smaller than that as well. So pretty cool spot. We're actually on our walk out, but we still have a little ways to go. We actually just walked by a bamboo viper that was moving through the brush and made its way out before I was able to get a video, but seems like the snakes are moving a little bit tonight. Not quite as much as the past few nights, but not bad. And maybe it's picking up as we get later into the evening too. So fingers crossed we'll get something else. And in the meantime, pretty cool common wolf. All right, we're almost done with our walk, and we've come across this tiny little bamboo, and it is literally hanging down from a little branch aimed at this wall. So very cool little in situ shot here. I'm actually going to back off so that we don't scare it away, but pretty cool find. I think this one may close us out tonight. If not, we'll check back in. Otherwise, we will see you on the next walk. All right, we're out for our next walk, and first snake is a bamboo pit viper high up on a cliff. So we're not going to get a better look than this, unfortunately. My lens is already maxed out. But pretty cool start. Snakes seem to be out pretty much everywhere now. Spring has definitely sprung. We're going to keep walking, and we'll check back in if we get anything else, and especially anything with a little bit better visibility.